81. A Short Honeymoon. Jackie's POV. "Hey, you're scared," I whispered, watching as she blinked rapidly, the warm air from my mouth fanning her face. She swallowed and shook her head, with her eyes closed. But the horror on her face was unmistakable. "Oh, really?" I inched closer, and she stiffened, her eyes widening. I chuckled at her funny reactions. "You know, love, you're just too cute," I smirked, stroking her left cheek with the back of my right fingers. She flinched repeatedly as I continued stroking her cheek up and down. It was the best feeling, being so close to her. "Do you remember the time we were on the terrace, love?" I whispered. She nodded with a small smile, her eyes still closed. "And the time we visited the Taj Mahal?" I asked, and she nodded again, smiling a little more. "The time you stayed at my apartment and fell asleep on my lap," I reminded her, and she opened her eyes, staring at me with a nervous expression. "I couldn't stop looking at you that night. You're always a treat to watch, Miss Verma," I admitted. She slowly turned her head to the side, hiding her lips behind the back of her right hand. "You blush a lot, don't you?" I teased, and in response she blushed even more, dragging a pillow over her face to hide. I giggled, trying to remove it, but she held on stubbornly, refusing to let me. I wasn't about to lose. Using my own tricks, I started tickling her waist and neck. She couldn't control her giggles, flinching at every touch. Her laughter grew louder and louder, so loud that I was certain my mother would hear. Hey, shh." I pressed a finger to my lips, and she instantly stopped, gaping at me with wide, alarmed eyes. I was still hovering over her delicate frame. I couldn't resist the temptation to kiss her. Closing my eyes, I leaned in, inching closer to her lips. But suddenly something came between us. My finger? No, I don't think so. I opened my eyes and found her index finger pressed between our lips, acting as a barrier. "What?" I whispered. She didn't reply. Instead, she gently pushed me away, placing her left hand on my chest. "No kisses before marriage," she whispered. "What? Not again?" I frowned. "Are you serious?" "Yes," she said firmly. I huffed. "That's not fair. Why are you doing this to me? Be a little kind, love," I pleaded, chuckling like a schoolboy. She chuckled too, biting her lower lip, but our gazes remained locked. How do I describe this feeling? It's unfathomable, yet deeply connecting. It's love, but something more than love. Is this how a man feels when he is madly in love? When nothing else in the world seems as wonderful as the woman before him. Yes, this girl, this simple, innocent, beautiful, and slightly weird Indian girl, has stolen my heart completely. I have nothing left to win. It feels as if the world's greatest treasure is right here, in front of me. I need no other treasure to satisfy my heart or desires. What I need is you, only you. Huh? She blinked, and that's when I realized I had said it out loud instead of just thinking it. Pardon me, I was just, nothing. Looking at her sweet, innocent face, I couldn't even think of lying, so I dropped the topic. "Mr. Dawson, are you okay?" she asked. "I suppose so." "Yeah, of course." I was about to say I was totally fine, but an idea crossed my mind. I could have a little more fun with her. Actually, no, I'm not okay. The thing is, here I am dying to touch you and feel your soft lips on mine, but you keep pushing me away. Tell me, how am I supposed to keep myself away from you?" She stammered after a short pause. You should learn to control such unacceptable feelings about me." Her words made me burst into laughter. "What?" I managed between fits of laughter. "Unacceptable? That's a big word. But please, do elaborate. How is my attraction towards you unacceptable?" I challenged. "It is. Of course it is. At least until we're married," she insisted. "Oh, forget it. You and your weird Indian rules. Sometimes I seriously doubt whether anyone in India actually follows them, except you. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you made up these rules yourself." I narrowed my eyes at her, watching as she gulped. I'm not one of those people who break such social boundaries," she defended. "I can see that." I rolled my eyes. "And there's nothing wrong with following social rules," she added. "This girl is unbelievable." I shook my head at her in exasperation. I sighed before speaking again. "Miss Verma, I think you've forgotten. We're not in India right now." I gestured around the room. We're in my mom's two-bedroom apartment, where no one cares what we do in this warm little room, lying on this queen-size bed," I whispered, taking in her beauty through my eyes. "Well, what? Are you trying to say I don't—" "Relax," I whispered seductively, cutting her off mid-blabber. "We can do whatever we want. No one here is going to judge us. Mr. Dawson." She lay beneath me, motionless like a log, but her expression and heavy breathing betrayed her worry. "Shh." I silenced her with a smile. "You don't trust me at all, do you?" "Don't question my trust, Mr. Dawson. I traveled all the way from India, alone, for the first time just to see you." She paused. "My mother was really worried about me coming here. She still has doubts about your intentions, but I assured her that I had chosen the right person. She finally agreed to let me go. The trust and unconditional love I have for you brought me here. You have no idea how difficult it was for a girl like me to make such a decision, but I still did. Please don't misjudge me. Trust and love are the only things I have to offer you, and I expect the same from you." Okay, that's a lot of pressure," I chuckled. "But I'll still try my best to live up to your trust," I reassured her with a genuine smile. She blinked rapidly, her expression turning emotional, and then suddenly she hugged me. Within a fraction of a second, I lost balance and fell onto her. There wasn't an inch of space left between us. It was an incredible feeling, but completely unexpected. I felt the same as I had the day she first ran into my arms. "Love," I whispered, completely flabbergasted. She responded without moving. This feels really good," I admitted. "I feel that too," she agreed. Consciously or subconsciously, my right foot began stroking the soft fingers of her feet. I could hear her sharp intakes of breath from time to time as I caressed her arms simultaneously. Her skin was as soft as flour dough, as smooth as the surface of rose petals, and she carried the fresh, earthy fragrance of rain-kissed soil. I couldn't resist the urge to touch her, to feel her more deeply. My chin rested against her right shoulder, and as I tilted my head to kiss the side of her neck, I felt her body shiver beneath me. Her arms tighten around me. "Lavanya," I whispered, lost somewhere between love and desire, "I can't wait to make every inch of you mine." I felt her hands clutching the fabric covering my back. Suddenly, I realized I was losing control over my body. "No, you can't do this. You can't go beyond this. She loves you and you love her, but her father trusted you. He sent her to you because of that trust. You cannot break it. Stop, 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 stop." The words tumbled out of my mouth urgently. Her hands froze where they were. "What?" I pulled away, looking into her eyes, so innocent, so unaware of my inner turmoil. Closing my eyes briefly, I took a deep breath. "Lavanya, I'm being overwhelmed by these feelings. I can't control them." I paused. "I know they aren't wrong for me, but they are for you, your family, and perhaps for all the girls in India." I blinked, looking up. "I remember the day your father thanked me for taking care of you and bringing you home safely. I've never forgotten his words. It was a father's love, and I can't betray his trust in me. Though I want to love you from head to toe, I still cannot cross that line. So, I will be waiting for that day." I smirked and winked at her, hoping to lighten the moment. "And that is why I love you so much," she said softly. "That is why I was able to come here, letting go of all my fears and doubts. You were made to love me, and I was made to be loved by you." Her words touched my heart in an instant. We spent the entire night talking, lying beside each other. Holding hands, staring at the ceiling, she shared childhood memories while I recounted fun days with James. The bed felt like the shore of a vast sea, and above us stretched an open, starry night sky. It was a peaceful, beautiful night, one of the most wonderful we had ever shared. After the night you spent with me in my apartment, this will be my next favorite night with you. The next morning, I woke up to find myself lying flat on the bed, with Lavanya's right arm draped over me and her head resting on my chest. I wondered how someone could sleep so peacefully in that position the entire night. She looked so beautiful. I kissed her forehead gently and she furrowed her brows. Rubbing her eyes, she slowly opened them. Within seconds, she realized she was lying on me. She sat up hurriedly, glancing at me from the corner of her eyes, her expression half embarrassment, half irritation. I sat up straight, raising my hands in surrender. I did nothing. She averted her gaze and rushed into the washroom. I chuckled at her reaction and flopped back onto the bed. "Why don't you take her out and show her around town?" Mom suggested while we were having breakfast together. Not a bad idea. I smirked at Lavanya while chewing. She blushed and lowered her head. I knew she was thinking about last night. After breakfast, I told Lavanya to be ready in 10 minutes, as I would be waiting outside. Exactly 10 minutes later, she stepped out. I was waiting for her inside Mom's car. "Wow, such a pretty car," she exclaimed as she got in. "How could a girl like this car? Instead of my luxurious cars, you like this one?" I was amused. "No, I like yours too, but this car has a vintage charm. Its color and body don't look like they belong to this era," she explained. "Exactly," I shrugged. "This thing looks like Adam's cart. I swear they must have bought it 1,000 years BC. Just because you have new things doesn't mean old creations were bad," she argued. "But new is always better," I countered. "I mean, why do we buy something new and throw or sell the old stuff? Because we want something upgraded and up to date, don't we?" She seemed to agree, but wasn't quite ready to admit it. "Girls." "What?" I frowned. "I have some of the world's most expensive cars in my garage. They're all top of the line, high-tech, well-built, strong, comfortable, and safe," I pointed out. "Oh, congratulations," she replied with a fake smile. "This car is a total piece of garbage," I muttered. She rolled her eyes. "Whatever, I still love this one more. Unbloody believable. Women are impossible to understand." I stared at her for a few seconds, but she refused to look at me. Sighing, I started the so-called pretty car and drove towards town. I showed her the famous restaurants, hotels, and monuments. At her request, we visited a Hindu temple, and then we had lunch at a well-known Indian Punjabi restaurant. The food was so spicy that I had to eat sugar when she offered. Later, we spent time in a park playing with little children, her idea, of course. I wanted to make her happy, so I went along with it all. She was giggling with the kids when, in the mall, a few people started trying to take pictures. Some recognized me immediately, while others still seemed unsure if I was the Jackie Dawson. "You're really famous," Lavanya teased. "This is exactly what I hate about small towns. People just can't keep their eyes to themselves." I rolled my eyes. "Let's get out of here." I grabbed her arm and led her outside. "But I wanted to see. There are plenty of other things to see besides this mall," I cut in. She frowned. "What's with you all of a sudden?" "Let's go, sweetheart," I said, trying to sound as convincing as possible. She didn't say anything, but her expression told me she was curious about my sudden change in behavior. After having some snacks, we headed back home. "Oh, you're back. So early. I thought you two were going to spend the night out," Mom remarked. Lavanya's smile faded instantly. "No, Mom, we explored the town," I said, glancing at Lavanya, "but I decided to come home." "Why? Is everything okay, Jackie?" Yeah, I'm great." I made sure not to worry her. "But there's one thing. Why did you give me that name? You do know it's a popular name for dogs in India, right?" I heard Lavanya stifling her laughter. "Hello?" Mom waved a hand in front of my face. "Your grandparents gave you that name, and you should feel proud and grateful to them for choosing such a popular name." "It's not just a popular name, it's a dog's name," I argued. Mom frowned in confusion, while Lavanya pursed her lips, looking at me teasingly. I sighed in defeat. After a few moments, I turned to Lavanya, who was grinning from ear to ear. "Lavanya, come inside, I need you." And with that, I walked into my room.
Lavanya's POV. I couldn't stop grinning as Mr. Dawson desperately tried to convince his mother about the dog's name issue. I was enjoying the scene like an entertained audience until suddenly he called out, "Lavanya, come inside, I need you." The moment he said that and left the dining room, my smile vanished. I felt utterly embarrassed. What's wrong with him? How can he say something like that in front of his mother? No decency at all. American monster. You could have just said, "I need to talk to you." Why did you have to say, "Come inside, I need you"? Do you even realize how that sounds? I snapped. Oh please, no one gives a damn, he replied, looking annoyed. I do. People might take it the wrong way. They'll think that we are already. Are you planning to finish that sentence this year? He teased. I glared at him. Very funny. I turned to leave, but before I could touch the doorknob, he grabbed my hand from behind, stopping me. Wait, I really need to talk to you, he said. Go on, I'm listening, I replied, not even looking at him. He pulled me back and made me sit on the bed. Look, we're going back to San Francisco tomorrow, and from there we'll go to India. The moment he mentioned India, my full attention snapped to him. Really? I smiled in excitement. Yeah, don't you want me to talk to your parents? I think it's high time I humbly ask them to allow me to marry you. My mouth fell open slightly in surprise. I nodded eagerly. Yes, I really want that. Then let's do it and accomplish this mission, he said in the sweetest voice. Is this a dream? My eyes grew glossy with emotion. Yes, it is. And soon it will be real, he smirked. I had nothing left to say. I just hugged him tightly. The next morning, we were sitting in the backyard garden, enjoying the morning view, when he spoke up. Mom, I have something important to tell you. Yes, son, his mother replied with a warm smile, the kind I loved most about her. Mom, I've decided to go back to India and ask Lavania's parents. Before he could finish, she jumped to her feet. If you can marry her, she exclaimed, sounding overly excited. Sir glanced at me, his mouth half open in shock. I shook my head, silently assuring him that I hadn't told her anything. Stop looking at her. I'm your mom. I can read your mind, she snapped, making both of us flinch. Jackie gaped at his mother, looking completely clueless. I am so happy for you, Jackie, she whispered emotionally. Come here, my baby. She opened her arms and with a huff, he gave in and hugged her. I stood up as well. I can't believe my little boy is going to be someone's husband, she said, glancing at me. I blushed instantly, lowering my head. Then, without warning, she pulled me into the hug as well, wrapping both of us in her embrace. I was happy to see her so joyful, but deep inside, I was also praying that when we reached India, everyone there would welcome us with the same warmth as Mr. Dawson's mother. God, please don't make it difficult for us to face my family when we visit India. No more obstacles, no more tears, please. That afternoon, after lunch, we took our flight back to San Francisco. Auntie kissed my forehead and blessed us with happiness. Returning from San Diego, I realized something new about Mr. Dawson. This man never gives up on his relationships. He loves his people with the same sincerity and devotion as a child loves his family. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a kind of innocence. While I was lost in my thoughts, I suddenly felt his right hand over my left. I turned my head sharply to look at him. He smiled, took my hand, and placed a soft kiss on the back of it. I didn't say anything. Instead, I simply smiled and rested my head sideways against his shoulder. This is the peaceful moment of our lives, Mr. Dawson. I don't want to burden you with my worries or the challenges we may face in the near future. I love you so much.